So you got the Romans putting these like temples in Britain, and then they go around the rest of the world digging up all the precious stones and commodities, all the big stones. And then what happens? There's loads of Asians all start appearing, and loads of Africans start appearing, or loads of Chinese start appearing in the vicinity of where them stones are, because it's the Commonwealth actually emerging from them stones. You can't take that kind of stuff with you into London. You know, it's all in London, isn't it? Because London, I've been there a couple of times, right, guys, and it is it's crazy, the multiracial aspect of London. It's banal, you know what I mean? It's totally weird compared to it up north. And that's because most of the crown jewels are in London, man, you know, that's where they all are. Obviously in our museums and in, you know, locality, we've got rich folks and politicians who've got like Lord Mayors and town halls and that kind of stuff, and they'll have their versions of gold and diamonds or whatever, I don't know, but nowhere near to the extent of the crown jewels, right? So, you know, you get this thing they put on the head that's got like diamond there, a ruby there, an emerald there, a sapphire there, and it goes right round the head, you know. It's this whole block of like foreign countries on one flipping piece of headwear, basically, you know, like a piece of the whole planet, like every, you know, a piece of the planet from the four corners of the world, as they put it, like. But it's all hewn from the earth to be. It's like what they call blood diamonds, you know what I mean, where it's like people have died for them jewels, people have been murdered, people have been raped, people have been usurped, and their own livelihoods and their own means of living and surviving taken away from them, and then like forced, like the North American Indians, exactly the same as us here in England, you know, guys. They made them go on social security and forced them into a depressive state of mind, so it drives them to feel inferior compared to those fascists and racialists who have been invading their space. And that goes with the whole planet. The British Empire has gone everywhere. Look, I mean, Canada is still unofficially belongs to the Queen. You know, Canada, it's, you know, like they've got their own Native American kind of communities in Canada and stuff, do you know what I mean? And like, the Queen's head is on of a Canadian person who might have had like bloodlines going back thousands of years in that land. Whenever they buy a drink or a can of Coca-Cola or whatever, like, they've got to look at the Queen's head on a coin. So Australia, where the Aborigines are, it's exactly the same. Do you not see a pattern there, guys? Like, and then years later, we got like someone like Prince Philip saying, "Oh, those slitty-eyed people," and all that kind of stuff. This is while he was actually in Hong Kong or China, which is crazy. Like, it's not even in England, is it, what he's talking about? Like, but he'd probably say the same thing about the Chinese chip shops and that, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? And what's quite funny, guys, so that's why I think, you know, if I've got any argument, if someone wants to argue with me and say, like, why are all these people there? Why are they opening shops here and there? Why are they all this? Why is the chip shops everywhere and all that? Like, or why is there, like, flipping kebab houses and all that? I say, go and have a look at the crown jewels and you'll find the answer there. Like, there's so many stones have been taken from all those, like, kinds of people. Taken literally without a choice. They're bound to pop up in your face, aren't they? They're bound to, like, you know, they've got to emerge somewhere, haven't they? In all directions, mate. That crown's got all them stones from all them regions of the world. There's not just one crown, guys. There's loads, isn't there, in the crown jewels? It's not just one particular crown. There's a few there, as far as I know. As well as the orb and the sceptre and all those things. And not to mention all the dress jewellery and all that, like. So why do you think there's all these, like, foreign people all appealing all around you? You know, because they're actually emerging from the stones. They are the meek inheriting their own earth, if you know what I mean. I think it's fair. Right. Now, what I thought was really hilarious, right, guys, was when I went to London, when I was on my way back home from Amsterdam, and I was in Victoria Station, and I had to wait for a coach, you know, to get back to Wirral, to get back to Merseyside. So I took a walk, and I went to see the Buckingham Palace. It's on my channel. I filmed, if you go back on my channel and check out chemtrails over Buckingham Palace, I was actually there just because I had nowhere else to go and I had time to kill, basically. So I walked down to the palace to see it for the first time and film it, like, do you get me? Like, the Roman villa, like, with me, you know, actually seeing it with my own eyes, and use this very camera I'm using now to film the Buckingham Palace, the Roman villa, like, you know, where the racialists came from, our local racialists, like, our queen that does that. She does that on video, and they're not going to admit to being fascists and that, like. Right. Well, I thought was really funny, like, this is kind of like proof of what I'm saying, of the meek inheriting the earth, the ironic circumstance that they've got themselves in. The Queen and the royals, it's not the Queen personally, is it? It's the backbone of the family and everything, you know, the old school, we call it, like, or the old school boys or whatever. They're all fascists, they're all like racialists and fascists, really, truthfully. But what I thought was quite hilarious was, like, I was walking, when I got close to the palace, and, you know, you start seeing all these gift shops and that. And then I stood and looked in the window of this shop, and I had all these, like, you know, like mugs with, like, this is actually right by Buckingham Palace, so you can imagine the money that they rake in, you know, the shops, the local shops. Imagine the revenue they get. The meek inheriting the earth, right? The meek inheriting the earth. Off the very people who have gone around the planet raping them. Do you know what I mean? That's what's funny, mate. And I seen this shop window, man. It was like Union Jacks everywhere. Yeah, right. Plates with the pictures of the Queen's head on. Prince Charles, William and Kate, mugs. All those things. There was an actual toy called Dancing Queen that really caught me attention, really. It was like a plastic toy with the Queen's head like that. You know, like a plastic toy, not like ABBA, you know, Dancing Queen, like, you know, like this plastic toy of the Queen, this little idol of the Queen going like that, like. And that's what caught me attention, and I looked in the shop window and I was thinking, wow, look at all the things there, man. It's got, like, it's actually giving people a revenue to live, basically, selling key rings and cups. And I know it was funny, I went like down to the shop and looked in, you know, to look at the whole shop, inside the shop, went like down the window, and there was an Asian dude behind the counter. It was actually owned by an Asian family, the shop. You know, like an Indian restaurant or a Balti house or something like. But they were actually making a living off the royal family themselves. Do you understand? So it's like full circle, isn't it? There's like they've taken like the Star of India or whatever. They might have been from Bangladesh. They might have been from, I don't know, you know, whatever country, Burma or whatever. They're more than likely Indian, though. Do you know what I mean? And then behind the counter in this shop, surrounded by Union Jacks and pictures of the Queen and pictures of the princes and everything that they can sell. Little models of the pumpkin coach and all that stuff, like, well, a golden coach, you know. And I was like laughing my head off to myself, thinking, wow, it's the meek and head in the earth, that, man, that actually get, that, like, the royals have shot themselves in the foot. Because you got, like, Asian people actually making a living from the whole royal family, like, you know what I mean? Which I thought was quite funny, you get me, like. Right, so, I'm gonna, like, I haven't been anti-racial overnight, you know, guys. I'm gonna, like, go into, like, my past now to just explain that, like, years ago, about 1989, right? It's quite a while ago, isn't it, guys, 1989? I wrote a song called Window of the World, right? And I'm a bit like Banksy, right, guys? I'm not your typical rocker. If you check my channel and you listen to me songs, there's some sort of personal, like, love song type sort of boy meets girl kind of song, you know, or relationship splitting up kind of lyrics I've got and that kind of stuff. But I do try and contribute as an artist, right? Not a famous artist, not a paid artist. I do it anyway, whether I get paid or not, right? But I'm a bit like Banksy. I try to prompt people's minds into thoughts. To get them to think about things, you know what I mean? Or to like, just think differently about stuff like racialism, like fascism, like all that kind of stuff, yeah. And I wrote a song ages ago called Window of the World. And to me, right, if you write a song and you're complaining about the way someone's doing something, or, you know, like, I'm trying to think of a political record that was released. Oh, you know, like the flipping Band-Aid thing where they wanted to feed the Africans and all that. We know a lot of that money was siphoned into weapons, you know, guys. You know what I mean? So, but I'm talking about like just the thought and the concept. You don't have to make money to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's like a prayer, right? It's like when you do something artistic and you're doing it in favour of poor folks or something like that, or the oppressed or the needy. It's like saying a prayer, and that's what happens. If your prayer works in your song or your poem or something, that's a victory, isn't it? And I'll give you an example. In that song, I wrote a song in 1989, right, guys? I'm not like, I didn't suddenly like see like Banksy pictures or something, or watch the television programme a couple of years ago, and I suddenly said like, oh, I'm not going to be racialist or fascist, I want to be like sticking up for... I've always stuck up for other creeds and races, you know what I mean? I've got Chinese relatives, to be honest. One of my aunties was married to a Chinese dude, you know what I mean? So I've got actually, you know, I'm actually related to Oriental people, do you know what I mean? Which I think is brilliant, I love it, right? But to prove I'm not like just making this up from recent years or something, in 1989, and if my old bass player's watching out there, you know what I mean, he'll know what I'm talking about. We did a song called Window of the World, which is about the TV. And basically, I covered 3 subject matters in that song. The first one was about the kids being hungry and starving, just like, you know, the Bob Geldof kind of thing. Starving Ethiopians, and, you know, because I was actually being moved by what was going on in the world with all that famine, right? The first verse was about famine. The second verse was about apartheid, right? You remember apartheid, guys? South Africa? A load of Dutch folks going down to Africa. I wonder what they were looking for. Wouldn't have been those big shiny things, would it? Those big shiny things we call diamonds. You know what I mean? Right, but Apartheid was absolutely fucking evil and unforgivable in my opinion. I used to watch that on TV, the way they used to treat them, like the black folks in the street, and whip them and stuff with sticks and stuff. I used to think, horrible, fucking bastards. Used to make me feel like, I mean, they got white skin, but they're not like what I am. I don't know what the fuck they are, but they've got white skin, sure, but they ain't fucking anything like me. They were Nazis, remember, right? And remember, they had their own swastika logo and everything, those guys, the Afrikaners and people like that while they were in South Africa, yeah. Right? Now, I'm not knocking South Africans, guys, you know what I mean? I'm just pointing out that apartheid was fucking well out of order, right? And in that second verse in that song, it was covering apartheid. And I'll reel the words off to you now as I remember it, right? This is the verse I sang. And this is back in 1989, guys. This is on the record. This is on cassette tapes of me rehearsing with other band members. The other band members didn't argue with me. They had no complaints. Like my old bass player, the drummer at the time, that is dead now, guys. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Tony, he's on the other side. But he was, you know, he was a bit older than me and the bass player, so he's popped his clogs before me. I don't know how long I'll be, you know, following like. But anyway, we did this song called Window of the World together as a team, right, guys? That's the way I see it. We were a team, yeah? The other 2 members of the band didn't say, I'm not doing that because I believe in this and that. I don't want these people around me and all that kind of stuff. Do you get me? I was like, we did it as a team and none of us were racist or fascist. Do you get me? We were 3 white folks and we were sticking up for black folks. If that sounds legitimate to anyone out there, right? And the verse, it was, every day I look through the window of the world. Talking about television here, guys, yeah? Because I didn't go around the world on an aeroplane, you know what I mean? I just used to watch things on TV and it used to move me and I had to write songs about it, right? So this is the verse I sang back in 1989 regarding apartheid. The first verse was about the starving Africans. I won't read the whole song out, like, but just tell you how powerful I was trying to get across the words I was actually using at the time. Every day I look through the window of the world, nothing ever changes regardless of where. The blacks who fight for freedom, dignity and pride, neglected by the white man reluctant to share. Right, you see the rhyme there, where and share, right? So Every day I look through the window of the world, nothing ever changes regardless of where. The blacks who fight for freedom, dignity and pride, neglected by the white man reluctant to share. Right? Now isn't that, I mean, that's not like, I'm not pretending, you know what I mean? I'm not like, I've suddenly started using those kind of things recently. This is something I was doing way back in 1989, right? And what happened eventually? Apartheid ended. South Africa started being, you know, they started admitting the mistakes, the Afrikaners and the Dutch, Orange Free State, diamond collectors must have got what they wanted, I suppose, you know what I mean, and realised they didn't need any more, like, and they still got diamond mines there and stuff. There's still blood diamonds and stuff being sold and all that, like, but it's on the record that, guys, 1989, I was, like, singing for the people in apartheid, right? I wasn't singing for myself, I was singing for them, yeah. And apartheid ended, and I think I contributed to that prayer. You know, because I was actually thinking there's a sentiment and a heartfelt sentiment there. And the last verse was about Palestine. You know what I mean? What were you seeing in Palestine with all the, you know, settlements and stuff like that. And, you know, I won't read the words or recite the words, but that's still going on today, really, isn't it? It's not as bad as it used to be, if you know what I mean. But a lot of things are changing over time and that, like, we'll find out, won't we? But apartheid did end, didn't it, guys? You know what I mean? So that's a little point I just want to make, that I'm not a plastic trying to be a hero here and trying to sort of make myself look great and that, like. And another thing, right, I've just got little things written down, like, if the royal family aren't racialist, right, this is another point. If they see the racialism and you know, fascism isn't in them. I always remember a while back, maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was a thing on the news. A young kid, Asian kid, Indian or Pakistani, I'm not sure, but he was an Asian kid, right? He was only 17 or 18 or something like that. He was only a young lad. He was caught committing a petty crime like theft or something silly, right? They put him in a cell with a guy who had a swastika tattooed on his forehead, a neo-Nazi, who had been in that jail or that remand centre for quite a while. He was known as a neo-fascist, right? Meaning a modern day Nazi kind of character. He actually had a swastika tattooed on his head, right? Why did he put an Asian lad in a cell with this guy? And the Asian lad either committed suicide or the neo-fascist murdered him in the cell. I can't remember exactly what happened. But this young lad was murdered, and he was only in there for a week. It was just a petty crime, do you get me? He'd have been out within a week. The happens at Her Majesty's leisure, right, guys? That's the term they use, isn't it? When you're remanded or you're put into a prison cell, they say, at Her Majesty's leisure, whatever that means, right? Does she have a camera or something, like a secret camera, and watch these things? Like, does she sit back in an armchair and go, oh, at my leisure, I'm going to see this Asian dude getting fucking battered by some neo-fascist kid with a swastika on his bloody head? You know, that doesn't add up, does it? And so, if you're going to tell me that the authorities and the police and the prison system, and which is all Her Majesty's, guys, don't they have the coat of arms of the lion and the unicorn at the back of every law court? Do you know what I mean? Or at the front of every law court. There's always that symbol. So if it's so brilliant, our system, right, and I'm not right, I'm just waffling here, just making it up, why would they put Asian people in a cell with a fascist, with a known neo-fascist or neo-Nazi? Right, that's an argument in itself, isn't it, right? So before you all cry about, like, you know, thinking I'm just being silly or something, like, I know what I'm talking about, right? And I think that just about covers what I've got to say, really, on this speech, because I'm going to try and make it brief so I don't freeze at the end and I'd actually do a mannequin, don't I, if the video freeze, like... But anyway, I'll be quick, like, yeah, so they were a couple of notes that I had to speak about that I forgot in the first part. the crown jewels. That's why we are surrounded by people from all over the world, guys. Not because they're going, oh, we get free social security, or oh, we get we get more money if we go there, or oh, because as far as I know, guys, I know if I went on holiday, you know what I mean, I'd go like India or somewhere like that, you know, I'd be like buzzing off what's there. Do you get me? I don't know what people, you know, people go to Australia, don't they? They visit the Outback or Ayers Rock and things like that. You know, it's like a big deal to some people, isn't it? Whereas, like, so what's the problem, you know, when people say they want to come to England and they go, like, because they can be prosperous or they can make a business or whatever. I think that's the stones speaking for themselves in the crown jewels. I think that's the meek inheriting the earth. And that's why my arguments in all of this, I'll say it to anyone that argues with me, I say, how many rubies, sapphires, emeralds, whatever, from India are in the crown jewels? And they'll go, well, I don't know, has that got to do with anything? I say it's got a lot to do with it, like, because if diamonds weren't so important, right, folks, why the fuck is a stone that'll be about that big, will be at £10 million? You understand, if they weren't that important to them in the know about that kind of stuff, why do they cost so much? Why can't we just get a diamond as though it's a pebble and say, wow, look at this stone, it's just a piece of stone, like, why is it such a big deal to them, like, you know? Anyway, I think I've said what I've had to say to finish part 2 of this speech. I'd love to hear your comments. If YouTube allows it out, if the royal family let me, you know. But it's not personal, right, guys. I'm going to say this, I'm off the record, right, guys. I've got nothing against Germans, by the way, guys. That doesn't, you know, when I say Nazis, I ain't talking about German people, do you understand? I am talking about Martians. I'm talking about some kind of earthly invasion that goes right back to ancient Rome. The Romans weren't Italians, guys. They were from some kind of interplanetary travel. I think they came from Mars. Because all the telltale signs, isn't it? The Roman legion today is the British army, as far as I know. Do you know what I mean? And Hitler himself modelled his men on the Roman legion, didn't he, with standards and stuff like that. Hitler wasn't even a German, right, guys? He was from Austria, wasn't he? But Napoleon wasn't even French. He was from Corsica. You see the pattern, guys? You see the pattern? And Obama is from Kenya. Not America. It's just a recurring pattern, isn't it? There's always this kind of a fascist kind of leader that, you know, I mean, Obama was a smokescreen, you know, because he was black and all the black folks thought, whoa, he's going to be like the best and that. But no, it doesn't matter the colour. It does not matter, guys. If you're in a seat of authority, you are receiving a bribe to do what they tell you to do. Do you know what I mean? So, on that note, I'll end that speech now, and I'll say thanks for watching. And before I go off, no, I don't know what. Yeah, I'll leave it that. I was just going to show an item and ask people if they had any idea. Well, I'll show you. Anyone know what this is, guys? Before I go, has anybody got a clue out there what this item is? It's like, I just polished it up. It's something I've had for years, right? And my arm bought it. I'll put it back so you can see all the screen. Right, and the top comes off. It's got a little thing on the top, like, it looks like a candlestick holder, right? That's the top of it there, right? Try and aim it right. See, it's just like this bowl at the top, right? My arm picked it up in a charity shop. He thought it was a bong, you know what you smoke weed through, so he bought it for me thinking it was a bong. Not that I smoke legal highs, but I don't smoke weed or anything like that anymore. You see this? Look, that's hollow. It's brass. I've just polished it up for the first time in years and it looks lovely, like, you know what I mean? I made up with it, like. I'll show it in colour later on, like, but at the moment it looks alright in black and white, doesn't it? But look, it comes off, the top comes off. And this top half, that's completely hollow. There's like a little tiny hole there, see? That's completely hollow. And it's got a rod on it, a metal rod. Right. And that's all hollow, but it's all welded together, you know, soldered together, like. You see, it's got a thing. It's like, is it a candlestick holder from a church? I don't know. Might be from an old antique candlestick holder. It's brass, and that goes in. That rod fits in the little hole thing there. It slides on. It just rests on like that. So it looks like a candlestick holder, but I have never seen one of these anywhere else on video, on television, Antiques Roadshow, in any shops or anything. And like I say, the only reason my old man picked it up, my dad's on the other side now. God bless his cotton socks. But anyway, he picked this up in a charity shop, and it might be worth a lot of money. I don't know if it's rare, or has anybody else out there ever seen one of these before? And if so, can you tell me what it is? My guess it's a church candle thing, but it's too narrow, the opening there for where the candle would rest. It's quite, you can see the size of it to my fingernail. It's quite small, so it'd be a tiny candle would fit in there, like. Just, that's flat at the top there, it's like a little bowl. Right, I'll show you the side of it, the dimension there, see that's the top of it. Do a hole like an Apollo rocket going up, like. Right, and there's the base. The base of it, it's kind of like a cup really, on the base. I'll just take the top. That's the base of it underneath. There's no markings on it, no writing, doesn't say where it's made or anything. It looks like something from the Middle East, I don't know. There's a nice little pattern around it. But as you see, it comes up nice polished. But anyway, that's my last message on this video. Just wondering if anyone knows what this is. I haven't got a clue myself. And I'll get this video uploaded as straight away, basically, which will take a couple of hours at least to upload. Trust me, it takes ages, because it's going straight from the camera. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's me speech about the why I think, what people are calling overcrowding, or we're being invaded and all that, which is a load of poppycock. It's all down to jewels and stones and diamonds and all that, like. Anyone out there, and gold, obviously bars of gold is another factor as well, like, but it's mainly the rocks, Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I hope that covers it. I missed this out when I did the first speech. And the neo-Nazi being put in a cell with an Asian dude at Her Majesty's leisure. It all adds up, doesn't it, guys? There's definitely something not right in the system. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Press the thumbs up button. Press the dislike button if you don't like it. Anyway, thanks for watching.